welcome back. I hope you all had a fantastic Christmas and a brilliant New Year, because mine was great. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Me and my good lady took a nice little trip up to Blackpool. Sorry, down to Blackpool for a couple of days. Absolutely perfect. So relaxing. Just it was nice just to kind of just stop for a little bit. You know how it goes. Anyway, so we're back. 2020 going to be a big year on the channel this year. Hopefully get this thing in paint this year. That's the plan. Also, for those of you who've been watching my social media will know that I'm getting ready, not for this, getting ready to bring up the hot rod now, which will ever be known as the Hover. So the plan for that is basically I've got a K20 out of my wife's old EP3, the Harry Honda. Videos, there's a playlist in the channel for when it was on the road. Unfortunately it got destroyed, so we broke it for parts, and I got to keep the engine and transmission. Result. So anyway, I digress. That's going into the Nova. I still haven't quite 100% decided whether it's going in the front, in the back, or in the front but rear wheel drive. We're still up in the air of how it's going to go. I've got plans for what I want to do and how I want to do it, but anyway, yeah. So the mission is for this first month, January, I'm going to have a thorough clean out in the unit, because I'm getting to the point where I'm falling over things now. It's starting to get a bit beyond the joke. I need to get all of my stuff from my garage at home up to here, so I've got everything in one place. And then once that's all done and the Calibra has got MOT back on it, Calibra goes to my house, lives in my garage at home. The Nova, Hover, or Hot Rod, depending on where you're from, comes up here to live, and that's when I'll start and be doing the work on it. Hopefully by then I'll have worked out some kind of game plan. However, so this wasn't part of the plan. This is an Astra, 18 plate Astra. It is the Ben's car. She's got needed rear discs and pads on. So today we're going to be putting on some discs and pads on the rear of it. Just going to rattle through that just as it needs doing, so I thought I would just do it. I thought it might be something interesting for you guys to see on the channel, so I'm just going to kind of put it out there and let you guys watch, see what goes on. Also though, at some point during the car's history, somebody has forced a wheel on that was not meant to fit on this car, which in turn has actually destroyed the hub. It's actually bent the studs and has worn away the threads on the inside of the studs. So when she took it to go and get a puncher fixed, the guy who fixed the puncher on the back, it wasn't him that did it, it was somebody else. And the guy that fixed puncher on the back said basically this hub is dangerous and should be changed. So I've just erred on the side of caution. Got a hub to go on as well. So basically what we're doing in today's episode is on 18 plate Astra, rear disc and pads, and a rear hub. Let's get cracking, get it done. So, as I said before, we're doing discs and pads. As you can see, the pads are, well, down to next to nothing on this side. The other side, they're actually down even worse. But what I was saying about the hub, somebody at some point in time in the history of this car has forced a wheel on that isn't actually the correct size. And you can't see it so much, but you can actually feel the threads are damaged on the inside there. I don't know if you can sort of see just that little step there. Same, this one's just the same, the threads inside there are damaged, and same with this one here. You can actually see the... So basically what we're going to do is we're going to do discs, pads, right, sorry. Yeah, what we're going to do is discs, pads, and we're going to change this hub out while we're on. So as you've seen from the video, just jacking up, put the wheel under. I'm going to put an axle stand under now, I've took out this screw while I had the chance, because obviously I could lock the brakes off. Next, what we're going to do is take off this screw and this bolt. That should release the caliper, and then there'll be 2 bolts further in which will release the carrier, and then the disc will be off, and then we'll tackle the hub next. Now I have it. So all I've done is I've took the caliper off, I've took the caliper carrier off, which is there, and I've took the disc off all in one. So they're all out now. So all I've got to do now is I'm going to give these a little wire wheel up, these little bolts, douse them with penetrating oil so they're nice and clean. Hopefully they should come out, and then I can just get in through the back in there. 4 bolts, all going to plan. It should just drop out. Stick the new one on and we're good to go. But as you can see from the discs and pads, that's the pad there. Hold on. Yeah, so as I was saying, as you can see, there's your difference in the pads. Obviously the new one and the old one, they are, well, this one here is actually down to metal there. You can just see the shiny bit there. There's absolutely nothing left on there. So they've been, definitely had their money's worth out of these pads. So they're the new pads ready to go in. And they're the discs you can see. And you can see just the nastiness of this disc. Hold on there. There's a lip on the back, you see. And a lip on the front. Discs are just nasty, but the new discs. So that's what we'll get on and get them changed. Right. That's the hub off there. Now for those of you who remember the OG subscribers from the start with the Corsa, don't want to just double check and make sure everything is 100% as it should be. Right, so stud pattern's the same. For those of you who are wondering exactly why I was doing this, apart from the damage to the threads, if you get a look, you can actually see the studs are actually bent. They've actually been bent out. In fact, more to the point, this one's actually been pushed out. Get a focus on it there, you can see. So the studs are actually pushed out. So yeah, so I think outfield, you can actually see the damage on that one there. So yes, 100% more happy that I'm changing it rather than just saying, yeah, it'll be alright, the wheel's on, it hasn't fallen off yet. So yeah, so what we'll do is I'll get this bolted back up, exactly the reverse process of what I've done. Just plonk this in, stick the bolts in. There's no Loctite on these bolts. I'll get this in. Sorry, I'll get this in. And then just a matter of chucking the disc and pads back on. New disc and pads, and that's this side done. So I've bolted this all back up again. Exactly where it wants to be. I've tightened them up, I've torqued them in. So they're nice and right. So everything, so that's the car now returned to how it should be without the disc and pads on. Next, I'm going to have to wind back the rear caliper. Now for this, I'm using my caliper wind back tool. Costs us about 10 or 15 quid from a parts accessory place. And how it works is the little pins in there locate into the little lugs in there, and then as you wind this in, what it does is this sits on the back of the caliper like so. That sits onto there like so. So as you wind this in at the back, the threaded bit, as you wind that in, it turns this, it pushes at the same time, so it sort of rewinds the brake caliper. You'll see what I mean when I'm doing it. So yeah, so provided they're not C's, which I'm hoping, I don't think they are C's because the pads didn't give that telltale sign. This should be quite a straightforward job. So once that's wound back, I'll clag the disc on, Put the caliper carrier back on. I've cleaned them up, ready to go. Just run a little wire wheel in there, just clean them so they're nice and clean, ready to go, so the discs aren't going to stick on there. What I'll do is I'll put some Loctite onto these bolts, ones that go through there to hold the caliper carrier on, because they had Loctite on originally, and then finally pop the caliper on with the pads in. Bish bash bosh, that's it, done. I'll put a little bit of copper slip just in here, just to stop the pads from seizing up, and yeah, see where that goes. Like I say, you'll see how it goes. And there we'll have it. That's the brakes done. Well, the back brake's done. Nice and free. Cleaned all this off with some brake cleaner, because when the discs come brand new, they come with a special oily coating on to stop them from corroding. I only normally put copper slip just on them edges there, as you've seen. I don't smear it all over the back, because that's the whole purpose of them like papery things in there. As you've seen in the video though, I had to just wind the I didn't quite wind the piston back quite far enough, but I'm getting it back far enough there now. We're all the way in. Pads are in, calipers are on. Torque these up, little dot of Loctite on here because they originally had Loctite on. The main caliper carrier, Loctite on the inside of there as well, so that's all on nice and done. The hub nuts inside there, the 4 of them, they're all nice and tight, and I've put this screw back in here. Now, I'm not a big fan of, let's see if I can get it to focus. I'm not a big fan of Phillips screws in discs, because they tend to chew, you know, once they've been in a couple of 1,000 miles, they tend to chew up when you come to take them out. But I'm more of a fan of them than I am of these Torx bits. They're just horrible. So, screw that came with the discs, I've put that in, so that's it. So all I'm going to do now is just chuck the wheel on, make sure you pump the pedal up before you drive off, because the first couple of pumps of this will just be taking out the slack of the extra on the caliper. So once you pump the pedal up, then you know, and you've got a firm pedal, then you know you're good to go. So as I say, I'll chuck the wheel on now, and then that's the brakes done. And that's it. That's about all I have time for today. I know this isn't one of my usual videos, but needs must, you know. I had to get it done, I had to get a job done, so I thought maybe something interesting I could just share with you guys. For those of you who haven't done it before, it's a really easy job. You can do it at home yourself with basic tools. Just obviously be aware that being brakes, you always need to be that little bit sort of careful with them all. I would like to say a special thank you to Gina, Chris and Richard for supporting the channel. I have started a buy me a car parts scheme. I'll put a link down below for those of you that feel like supporting the channel. Literally, no matter how small the donation is, it's all very much appreciated, and it will all get pumped straight back into the projects in the channel. I will, once it gets to £100 in total, I will do a free merch drop on the channel. I'll run a small competition, just give some merch away, because it's always nice to say thank you. Yeah, so thanks again for watching. For the new subscribers that have just recently subscribed to the channel over the Christmas period, don't forget we have, as well as 2 seconds, as well as the Calibra, which gets occasional work done here and there. That's more sort of the daily car that sort of runs and works and does the job. We're also busy restoring this at the minute, which is a K-Reg Vauxhall Nova SRI. This thing has, when I got it, it had, I would say, probably more rot in than it did have metal, but we're slowly breaking its back on that, and we are putting it back together. I'm actually currently busy with the other side, getting it done, which we are going to get some serious progress made over this next couple of months or so, until I get to the point where I can sort of drop it down onto its wheels and put it into bodywork. Once again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more of this next week. See you later.